That's not even 50%. Right. What that is modern day Jim Crow apartheid in Seattle, Chief Seattle City, Martin Luther King Jr. County.
Yes. Yes, tell it.
How does that work? How does that work? Because Seattle has a very good marketing campaign going that everybody's able to progress. That's what progressive, I think, means. And everyone is free to rise up and participate. That's what liberal, I think, means. But we know that that's not the reality for our community, again, that has called this home for almost 140 years. And this is still our home. This is still our root in this particular city, in this area, right? So we're going to keep it going and growing in this community. And we're saying no, end Jim Crow apartheid in Chief Seattle City and Martin Luther King Jr. County. It's only right that we do that right here and show the rest of the nation how to do that. We're a small black community here. We've always been a small black community here, but we've been a powerful black community here. When you think about the jazz legacy that was right here on Madison and Jackson, all the businesses, this was a home ownership black community also. They're trying to turn us into just a subsidized, affordable housing black community, but we're not going for that, right? We're not going for that. People are going to keep their property. We're going to fight off the predatory lenders, and that's what the King County Equity Coalition is all about. It's a coalition of black-led, community accountable, community-rooted organizations that are coming together to develop a real plan to reach equity in our lifetime, in this area, in our lifetime. Real plan and real action. Okay? All right? So we're starting here. We're ending down at Jimi Hendrix Park, our African-American, museum. The thing that we still have to make it to our world-class museum and cultural center. We're still working on that. Okay? So we're glad everybody's here. And like we say, it's cute that some of them decide to take a knee, but what we really need is for their bosses, who they guard, whose security they are, right, to pay the fee, right? So what do we say? Pay the fee, right? Pay the fee. 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 Right, that's repair rations. Rations to repair. Reparations, right? And so I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna let another one of our community standing, accomplished, and someone else who worked very, very close with D. Charlene Williams for many years, was always there. Whenever she called, he was there working, and let him say a few words, because he had a very close and positive relationship with Miss D. Charlene Williams. Let's give it up for a Grammy-winning, award-winning producer from our community, Robert Redwine.
Somebody said, somebody say yeah. Yeah. Say yeah. Yeah. Say power to the people. 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 I love all of y'all. I like the diversity, different backgrounds, sexual orientations. We're one voice, one people together against the machine that's been corrupt and greedy. But first of all, I want to thank the speakers who have came up and spoke. The president of the Central Chamber of Commerce, Larry Petrie. Larry was a teammate with me at Garfield on the football team. Joaquin Garrett, a young star rising. When he was young, I say the boy that would be king. He don't want me to do this, but he taught with me at SBI, and he's an awesome guy on letting young people know who they are.
That's right.
Tony B right there. Rainier Avenue Records, radio, listen to it, watch the stream. He's got something going. We picketed Cube 93, and they formed a black advisory board, and we made him the first black DJ at Cube. Give Tony B. My Uncle Sam Smith was the first black city councilman in Seattle.
Oh yeah, Mr. Smith, love Sam Smith.
My Uncle Sam is the one that helped D. Charlene get that Chamber of Commerce right there. D. Charlene was my heart. She was tough. she had to pull a gun on somebody, she will, for righteousness. But she stood for the community. And his daughter, her daughter, Rita, where's Rita at?
Right there. I'm
Rita,
telling
oh,
you.
you filming. So Rita's holding it down along with Lawrence to keep this institution alive and moving in a strong, powerful, positive direction in concert with all these great activists and leaders in our community. My father was a Black Panther. He surrendered. Power to the people. Power to the people. So my dad, it made him surrender. All he was doing was trying to help young people, older people, get to their houses from the 60s and the riots and stuff. They made him get on the ground. He surrendered. They still shot him in the army. Seattle police. We need police reform. I like what Andre Taylor's doing with Not This Time. That's a good friend of mine as well. We're well connected, and we've got an organization that's building. We're building a coalition, so let's get on their necks, how they got on our necks, and tell them to stop this thing. Stop this thing. I love everybody. I'm running for 37th District State Legislator, position 2. Vote for me, I'll set you free. Robert Rainier.
All right, folks, listen up. What does the Constitution say?
We the people.
Say it one more time.
We the people.
We are the people. We're going to go ahead and get the logistics, and then we're ready to move.
Yeah.
Everybody ready to move?
Yeah.
All right, let's move.
All right, so we want to get, we're here to say, you know, this is, can you hear me? All right, put your hand up in the air if you can hear me like this. All right, so we know like this, we have a, keep your hand up. Keep your hand up, please, keep your hand up. We know this, we've heard this from our elders, great leaders before, that when we're like this and we're spread apart, we have a certain amount of force, and if you smack somebody, you know, it stings a little bit. But when we tighten up this and we come together and we unify for what's right, for freedom, for justice, for equality, for a better city, better world, we are a force that can't be reckoned with. United, we can't be defeated, right? And so we're gonna march in unity. We want the Black community, because Black communities matter. Black lives can't matter if Black communities don't matter. And everybody needs a community. Everybody needs a space to breathe. So we appreciate everybody from all walks of life coming to support Black lives, and Black lives having space to grow and thrive and share their greatness with the world, so the world could be a better place and everybody could be better. So before we go, we want to make sure everyone has gone on to KingCountyEquityNow.com and signed the petition to move these things forward and stay connected. The other one is NoJimCrow.com, right? And so KingCountyEquityNow.com, KingCountyEquityNow.com. Go on your phone and get there. That's one of the most important actions you can take today, is to get connected so that we can communicate, right? And so that we can move when we need to move, okay? And the other one is NoJimCrow.com, NoJimCrow.com, all right? And so we want to get the Black community up right behind the sign. If you have an I Am Africatown or Build Africatown t-shirt, we need you up front. Turn off the Bluetooth. Okay, we'll get those logistics. So this is going to be the front, and then everyone else is going to come on the back side, and we're going to go to 23rd, and we're going to walk down the main. You know, this is the original East Madison Mardi Gras parade, which came Black communities out there, which is now Umoja started right here, right? And so we're going to go right down to the route, say code for me, go back and go forward. So we're keeping that going. We're going to go down 23rd.
Excuse me.
Come on, dog.
Oh, sorry, dude.
sound system. So look up.
How you doing, brother? It's Tony B. We're live with Rainier Avenue Radio. We're about to start the march now. Again, this is the 37th annual celebration of Juneteenth in honor of D. Charlene, who started these celebrations.
Behind. All right?
Okay.
All right, we're moving.
All right, we're about to start the march now.
Come into the back.
Yo, I get it.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. The march is now moving. We're about to head to Madison. You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We're following the Freedom March. This here is the the building over here on my left is the Church of God in Christ, which has been here forever. It's a black church, and you get the Holy Ghost at that church. Over here again on your left is the Elizabeth seniors in our African American community, and still stay. Right there on the corner again, you're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We're rounding the corner at 23rd and heading now south on 23rd.
Our street! Our street! Our street! Pay the fee! Pay the fee! Pay the fee! Free the land! Free the land! Free the land! Free the land! Pay the fee! Pay the fee! Pay the fee!
No Jim Crow!
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 Rainier Avenue Radio.world live from the Freedom March. Juneteenth celebration, the 37th annual. This is something that D. Charlene started. If you missed, there was a ceremony at 22nd and Madison where the Central Area Chamber of Commerce, which is owned and started by D. Charlene, began the legacy that was continued here today with the Freedom March. Normally there is a celebration in the park at Pratt Park, but with COVID-19 that's not happening. But this year there is the Freedom March. Yeah, can you, man, let the people who are in the community do something? Live at the Freedom March Juneteenth celebration in honor of the legacy of D. Charlene Williams on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
What do we want? Justice! Equity now.
Anytime you need me to get out of the way, you just let me know.
What do we want?
I'm gonna wait till you
What do we want? What do we want?
We want land.
Yeah, you bet.
We want land of our own. We want land. We want our own schools. We want land.
If I get right here.
Say again?
I get right here.
Go ahead.
What do we want?
Equity now.
What do we want? Land.
Equity now.
When do we want it? Now. What do we want?
Land.
When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. What do we want? When do we want it? Now. Where do we want it? Where do we want it? Where do we want it? What do we want? What do we want? Who are we? Who are we?
We the people.
We the people. Who are we?
We the people.
What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Land. Land. We want land.
Get all of the land.
This is Tony D for Rainier Avenue Radio. We are live at the Freedom March in celebration of Juneteenth. This year honoring again the legacy of D. Charlene Williams. Started the Central Area Chamber of Commerce. This will be the 37th year of the Juneteenth celebration. It's not happening this year because of COVID, but this march in her honor continues the legacy that she started in Seattle. And this year you're getting the Freedom March.
Thank you, baby. Hey, you guys as media, if we can come this way more so that we can see the sign.
Yeah.
All we see is your back and it's cluttering the message. So come this way. Speed up, because they need us to rise up. Go run, 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 run. Go up so that we can see the message. Come on, man. There we go. That looks better. Come crazy. There we go.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We are live here at the Freedom March.
Let me know when you're ready. I'm ready when you are. Okay. I have to get one.
What do we want?
Rainier Avenue Radio.world live here at the Freedom March in celebration of Juneteenth, honoring the legacy of D. Charlene Williams. This would be the 37th celebration.
Slow it down.
Okay, slow down and wait for our elders, so you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for
That's
them.
right.
We're stopping right now. The last couple.
Okay, right now there is a pause as the elders are.
Wait for our elders. We get to 23rd Union. We're going to stop there. And we're going to talk about some real things. brother Dre. Is my brother Dre out here? We want to hear the irony on Union. Yeah. All right. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. You gotta tell us. Ready? All right. 23rd in Union, 23rd in Madison. That's right, a lot of history. Rest in peace to Aaron Roberts, whose life was stolen by the police. Right on 23rd in Union.
We're live here, Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Again, the Freedom March, 37th celebration of Juneteenth in honor of Charlene Williams. This would be the 37th. She held this event annually. Juneteenth wasn't always as popular as it is this year for a number of reasons. Folks are more aware of it, but Juneteenth has been celebrated at Pratt Park by Charlene. Again, this would be the 37th year. Other celebrations have gone on as well. This year there seems to be a special recognition of Juneteenth and its special place in the history of African Americans.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Now! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Now! When do we want
So again,
what do we want?
the history of Juneteenth is such that
What do we want?
the Emancipation Proclamation was done in 1863.
What do we want?
The word had not yet got to Texas. It wasn't until 1865 when General Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and declared that the slaves were free. 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation.
They say no justice. If we can't have our peace.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to tell them to move? Can you move?
If we can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. If we can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. If we can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. If we can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. We can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. We can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. We can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. We can get our peace, ain't gonna be no peace. We can't get our peace, right? Ain't gonna be no peace. We can't get our peace. Ain't gonna be no peace. We can't get our peace. Ain't gonna be no peace. We can't get our peace.
Live at the Freedom March, Rainier Avenue Radio, broadcasting live. We're now about to hit 23rd and Union. Legendary 23rd and Union over here is where Richter's used to be. It's now the PCC Community Market. Can you make sure to stay behind me?
All right, we have
23rd and East Union.
All right. This is ground zero. This is ground zero. But we didn't see gentrification, ethnic cleansing of the Central District in Seattle. This is ground zero. And if we look right here, on this corner, Aaron Roberts was killed right here.
Yes, he was.
R.I.P. to Aaron Roberts. And Aaron Roberts Jr. also, who from that trauma.
Committed suicide.
Okay.
That's my best friend. Yeah, talk about it.
One of my first interns with Umoja Fest. So that's two lives that gentrification kills.
Yes.
Gentrification is genocide. And we have to stop this genocide, Jim Crow, apartheid in the Central District, in Seattle, in Martin Luther King Jr. County. In order for black lives to matter, black communities must matter. This is our black community. This is the strongest black community in the Pacific Northwest. This is the strongest black community in the Pacific Northwest. And this is our roots. It don't matter if you branched out south, west, you might have branched out. This is our root. We're gonna honor our root. We're gonna honor the blood, sweat, and tears that our parents, our grandparents, and our parents put into this soil to build this community under hostile, adverse conditions. And it's hostile and adverse today. And somebody try to run a trick on us. They say Black Lives, they put up a sign, right? It says Black Lives Matter. But I think it's really protection for the window. That's what I think. That's what I think. I think so too, we know a lot of black people, a lot of brothers that's still sitting down for doing what this person is doing on this corner. He was the most anti-Africatown person there has been. He said he wanted to make it Little Amsterdam. A red light district, a vice district, that's what he wanted to do. Right? And then he gonna put up a sign that says, Black Lives Matter. You ain't never seen the red, black, and green Pan-African flag flying here during Black History Month or any other time. True. And if Black Lives Matter and black community matters, then let him divest and make the black community the owners of this. Make this a co-op for the black community and prioritize those that got arrested in felonies because of the drug laws. And now he's making billions of dollars. If black communities really matter. Equity now. Equity now. Equity now. Equity means ownership. Equity means ownership. Equity means ownership. Equity means ownership. That's right. Right here. You see the Liberty Bank building, right? That's the site of the first black bank in this state. Second black bank west of the Mississippi in 1968. The doors opened to give our community access to the capital that they were being robbed and denied of. So you see that logo? That's the original Liberty Bank logo. That's a memorial, a living monument. We're not going to be black buildings. We're asking for divestment. That means give up your equity, figure out a way out, and then say, we built it for the community so they could stay here, but we're going to go build somewhere else and own somewhere else because this community deserves to own. Yes. Yes. Right? So from Union to Jackson, that's the call. Madison, that's right. Right? And so the same capital that we didn't get and why Liberty Bank was founded is the same thing that's going on because black people aren't able to get the capital and the loans to develop their property. They're only given the option what? To sell. Yep. To sell and someone else come in and build 3 and 4 and 5 units on their property. All right, so we need that capital in our community. We need to be building these buildings. Yes. Now on the other side, Africatown Plaza is going to go there, right? Yes. Africatown Plaza is going to be built on the other side of this. But we don't have any buildings downtown. We don't own the commercial space and industrial space along the port. Shout out to the International Longshoremen Union today. They shut down the ports in honor of Black lives. All the ports on the West Coast in honor of Black lives. I think it was for 8 minutes and 48 seconds, which is how long that knee was on the neck of our brother George Floyd when they murdered and lynched him for the world to see. Murder! They thought they was killing him, but they brought us alive. They brought us alive all over the globe, and we're not going to let his life be lost in any other alive. Breonna Taylor, Charlene Lyles, Aaron Roberts, murder! Michael Ealy, murder! Steady Eddie, murder! Anthony Thomas, murder! Jay Taylor. We want our fair share. We want what's owed to us. All right? And we're demanding it. And nobody gives you justice. You got to take justice.
Take it. Take it.
Freedom is not free. Freedom is not free. The only thing that's free is dumb, because if you think you're going to get something for free, we are dumb. Yes. Okay? So we got to get our freedom. Act like free people. That's what we're doing today. Nobody told us we could be in these streets. But there are streets, so we're in them. Yeah. We're going to stay in them. All right. Okay. So we are 23rd and Union. We're united in unity as one on Union, and we're going to keep moving with that same unity from Union. All right? Okay, let's keep it moving. Let's pull in behind. If you're in front, let's pull in behind.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world, live from the Freedom March. That was Y King talking about 23rd and Union.
Fight the power! 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 Fight the power!
Rainier Avenue Radio.world, live from the Freedom March. Celebrating Juneteenth in honor of D. Charlene Williams. This would be the 37th celebration. They normally take place at Pratt Park, but that won't happen this year because of COVID-19. However, the annual celebration, which usually contains performances, speakers, amazing food. Can you stay out of my shop? Thank you, bro. This is my... Okay, lived here for 40 years. Oh, well, cool, but this...
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Wow, okay. I'm with the community radio station.
What's that?
I'm with the community radio station.
Okay, cool.
So I just like to get my, so that we can keep this for posterity.
Okay, that's great.
All right?
Yeah, dude.
No offense. No offense, bro.
It's okay, dude. I'm a music producer, man. I've helped so many people in that regard, so I'm here for the same reason you are.
Again, you're live on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. We are with the march, the Freedom March. This is part of the honoring of D. Charlene Williams.
Down these streets, we talk about history. My great-great-grandmother's house. Grandma picked it right here, still our family house, right here.
Now we got a special treat for you.
Right, so everybody that got roots to this community.
We are Rainier Avenue Radio.
Give up your claim on your community.
Well, we have currently located right here in the Central District, and very soon we'll be passing the new home of Rainier Avenue Radio. We will be back in the South End on Rainier as well. It's a project under development, and it's part of that whole making sure that you have land and property and ownership for the community.
Whose streets are these? Our streets. Whose streets are these? Our streets. And claim. Stop asking for permission. It's time to take. Come on, LB. I see the doors open on my great-great-grandmother Vicky's house right here. I think my cousin Steve Tyson is in there. Tyson Garrett, Land, that's who we are. Claim your family. Come back to me. lift up the legacy of your grandparents that struggled to put it together. Don't just give it up. Come back and
How you doing, bro?
lift their legacies up in this community.
Fantastic. Rainier Avenue Radio.world live from the Freedom March. We're heading south on 23rd, about 2 blocks away from Cherry Street.
Stay unified and get stronger and keep moving.
Celebrating the legacy of D. Charlene Williams and her Juneteenth celebrations. Happy Juneteenth, June 19th. That was the day that General Granger came into Texas. And 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation, essentially freed the slaves, resulted in celebrations, a lot of still which survive today. Of course, one of those is dressing up. If you had been enslaved and were constantly wearing used hand-me-down clothes, the opportunity to put on your finest during the greatest celebration in the history of life, being freed as a slave, would certainly have been something to behold. And there was also the gathering of everyone who knew at that point, if you were free and you were all family at that point. And what an amazing experience that must have been on June 19th, 1865. We celebrate that legacy here now.
Let's slow down. Keep moving, just here, slow down.
Slow it down. My brother right here, get him set. His family legacy. The Greens, the Wilsons, the Sacks, the Wacomas. Coming up with Mr. Green, had the woodlot for all those years. All right? Hard working. Black men, black women, building a community, only to be targeted, to be destroyed, weeded, and seeded. The same way they did Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They just did a different strategy here. Called weed and seed. They called it a war on drugs, but it was a war on black communities. They called it a war on drugs, but it was a war on black communities. They called it a war on poverty, but it was a war on black communities. They called it urban renewal, but it was really Negro removal, a war on black communities. And it continues. Then they came with
Rainier Avenue Radio.world live here at the Freedom March.
brothers out of our community.
And there is Rainier Avenue Radio right there. That is the new home of Rainier Avenue Radio. We will be back in South Seattle, but right now, right here on 23rd, you had the opportunity to see Rainier Avenue Radio.
From Shelton, from Monroe.
All right.
Community for them to come back to. That's our job.
And that was the new home. We'll be building that out here, right here in the Central District, right here on 23rd. So that is breaking news. You talk about ownership. That will be our home permanently, thanks to Mr. Jim Tharp.
So, he's 100% right. We got to work out our own problem. Make our community safe. No reason for people to come from out.
That's right, on East Columbia.
In the name of making our
watch out, you're running into these people. Move out of the middle, move out of the middle.
So we're going to police our community. We're going to squash our beat from the Central District to the South End and beyond. Because we're not the ops. The ops of gentrification. It's opposition gentrification, like our brother D.C. said. Opposition gentrification. Black it up. Black it up. Say it loud. Black it up. Say it loud. Say it loud. Say it loud. I am. Is that done?
Rainier Avenue Radio World live at the Freedom March. We are about to approach Cherry Street. Again, this is a Juneteenth celebration honoring the legacy of D. Charlene Williams. You saw earlier at the start of this at the Central Area Chamber of Commerce. That is property that she eventually was able to purchase and still owns in the family today.
Firewood, your Christmas trees, all of that, Mr. Green, right?
We got people out here.
He had a grandson working with him, showing how to own things.
Right.
Just talk. Feed the people. Our brother Sheriff. One of our triggers from our community.
All right. Here we are once again on an iconic, historic neighborhood and block for us. Cherry and 23rd represents a lot in the black community. We have Jordan. For those who didn't know, Jordan. Digger. We have so much black business right here down Cherry.
Yeah.
What we need is a resurgence of that black business right here on Cherry.
Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to hold people accountable for how resources come into their organization. If they have black babies all over their brochures and they are not black-led, we need them to rethink their practice.
Yeah.
We need them to work themselves out of a job and get somebody that actually represents the people they serve to lead. No more can we, right here in King County, accept this nonprofit mafia that has taken over this city and throughout the county. We need those who actually represent the communities that they serve to be in the lead position to receive resources first, not last. We need all those in the philanthropic community to do your homework, do your research. You can no longer accept white-led institutions that play on the livelihood of those who are non-white. We cannot allow it, and we will not stand for it anymore.
That's right, we look at this corner, and now we see it's Coyote Central. That should be a black-led organization teaching our black ladies arts in their community. That's great. But these organizations, like she said, all these organizations, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Not run by our community, but got our pain on their brochures, got our pain on their annual breakfast telling their stories, and they're just passing money back and forth, millions of dollars, while organizations in our community like New Black Arts West, like the CD Panthers, like so many struggle, do it on the muscle, do it from the love, but they need the resources, not other people making careers, paying their mortgages, sending their children to college on the backs of our community. That's another form of exploitation, just like the school to prison pipeline in the prison industrial complex. So we got to say no to that. King County equity now. We want equity now. We want ownership. We want control, power over the resources that are supposed to impact our lives. Whether they're coming from the government in the form of an education levy, or they're coming from private philanthropy, corporations, giving, making themselves feel good. But things aren't getting better for us in our community. All these years, all these billions of dollars to close the education gap, to stop the violence, to address health disparities. But we're dying more than ever. We're losing our community more than ever. Our businesses are being pushed out more than ever.
Yes.
But their budgets keep growing every year.
Every year.
We got to put an end to that, into apartheid, into Jim Crow, equity now. That's why we're saying King County equity now. Let me hear you say it.
King County equity now. King County equity now. King County equity now. King County equity now.
We want ownership. What do we want? Ownership. When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ownership.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Ownership.
Where do we want it?
Now.
That's right. We're going to have it. We're going to act like it. This is our community. No more feeling uncomfortable. Feeling like a foreigner. Feeling like an alien in your own neighborhood. That's unacceptable. We're not going for that. We're not going for that. We're not watching. Valley Hood's not going for that. Bad Block's not going for that.
not at all.
East Union's not going for that. Cherry's not going for that.
Madison. I got you. Deuce 8.
Yesler's not going for that. Dussault's not going for that. Jackson's not going for that. Okay, and we're going to keep it going. All right? It's CD or see me. That's what it is from here on out. Okay? All right, let's keep it going.
Rainier Avenue Radio live at 23rd and Cherry from the Freedom March, part of the celebration for D. Charlene Williams, celebrating Juneteenth. This would have been the 37th annual celebration. They normally take place at Pratt Park. Festival events include performances, speeches, guest speakers.
I want everybody to know. Hold on 1 second. Everybody to know. Everybody to know. We're lifting up black business today too on station. It was established by a black man from the U.S. and a black man who migrated here from East Africa. That's what Africatown represents, us coming together, putting our resources together and building a community where we're safe and our babies can grow and thrive. So, hey, I save and wait and come in here and get this gas so I can support a black-owned business. All right, so that's what we got to do. We got to look that up.
When you know better, you do better.
The AM PM right here. And behind us, this is the complex of Garfield High School Community Center, right here on 23rd and Cherry.
Any dogs in the house, true dogs. 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 Right. Purple and white. You know what it is. Hendrix, the home of Chrissy Jones, the home of the Black Panthers, the home of March out here, Garrett. Bruce Lee. The home of Bruce Lee. So many of us. Viking Garrett, Lawrence Petrie, Dr. Bedwine, Joanna Holiday, Amari Salisbury, Will Conroy, I see you. We see you. Imani Ditis.
And this is the
All right? This is real family, real people.
Medgar Evers Pool. And there's Garfield.
It's the pyramid. Medgar Evers Pool. You gotta give up some history. Some history. They didn't want to let black people work on projects in their own community. So the black contractors got together and they shut the job down. They said if we can't work in this community, nobody will work in this community. If we can't build in this community, we can't build it. No one can build this. Come on! So, I think we gotta, get back to that same energy. We gotta get that same energy. If we can't build in our community, nobody can build in this community.
Right here, the Nation of Islam.
Keep the sound system on! Speakers!
Being high, being suit.
Right behind you. What's up?
All right, all right, all right.
Okay, greasy hamburgers and stuff. That was
There's Medgar Evers Pool, and over here on the left is Zell's famous chicken.
That's right. That's right. When your funds is low, you get a large fry. Right? When you do it better, you get a snack pack. Okay? This is Zell. We live
There's
up
the
since 1984.
Quincy Jones.
Right here.
Y'all better get this picture right here. Fist up. Make sure you get that Jefferson 23rd.
Right here on 23rd and Jefferson now is Zell's.
Legendary field, legendary school, legendary corner.
Quincy Jones Performance Center.
Red, black, and green. When we put them here, we said we're not going to just have crosswalks, but we got to own some of the buildings too. We got to own the buildings too. This is our community, the red, black, and green. Marcus Garvey gave us that flag, the Pan-African flag. We need all our children to know about that red, black, and that green. It's the Pan-African flag for all of us to be united. The red is for the blood, our DNA, the blood we shed, the blood we share. The black is for the people, the indigenous people that come in many different shades. The green is for the land. What do we want?
Rainier Avenue Radio.world live
What do we want?
in the Freedom March. I'll be up on that hill soon, and I'll be able to give you a viewpoint of behind the front of the march.
Everybody has to have some space to exist.
And as you can see, it goes back a few blocks.
And have a knee on the neck of everybody else. That don't work. And it's not gonna work. Yes, this is the home of Jimi and everyone else. It's too many today. The list is too long. But we gotta shout out, who built this? Who built this? We did. No, no, no. For all my true dogs. Okay? We gotta lift it up for real. Who built this? We did. Rick. How many bricks?
2 bricks.
How many bricks?
2.
That's right. So we honor all of our community members. Those of us went to Garfield. We know beloved Rick.
Yes.
He was always there. He was always around. And if he's still around, we lift him up, right? Along with everybody else. So we are here in front of Garfield High School.
It ain't going nowhere.
But you know, inside of Garfield High School, we talked about apartheid.
Well,
Right? Apartheid means apart. Right? So in Garfield High School, this is one of the #1 high schools in the nation in terms of merit scholars. The marine biology program. But it's like 2 schools in one. The AP classes look one way. The list of suspensions, expulsions, failing grades look a different way. That's not acceptable. We need our genius truly being developed
that's right.
in Garfield High School.
That's right.
We look at the jazz band, and we know jazz is black music. We know jazz is black music. They say it's the only American art form. But we look at our jazz band, and we don't see any of our children continuing the legacy of Quincy Jones and Ray Charles and Jimi Hendrix. Right? So we got to get these things in order. We got to get it right. Okay? That's what this is about. Let's end apartheid in our community, in this neighborhood, in this city, in this Martin Luther King. And let's design and build a new normal rooted in equity. That's what this is all about. We're marching in the streets for lives that have been stolen, but we can't bring those lives back. But what we can do is claim these streets and build things that honor those lives by saving lives.
Yes.
For every life they steal, we'll save thousands.
Yes.
As our elder Kavidi said.
That's right.
For every son, every daughter they steal,
We'll save 10,000.
we'll save 10,000.
Yes.
But we need institutions, we need space, we need facilities so that their greatness can grow. All right, so that's what we're about. That's what this is about. KingCountyEquityNow.com. No Jim Crow. Make sure you go there. I heard it's about 1,000 people that have signed on, but I think it's 50,000.
Slow down.
All right? So make sure you get on there. King County Equity Now. No Jim Crow.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world here at 23rd and Jefferson at the Quincy Jones Performing Center. There's Ezell's. I remember there used to be the Flintstone Apartments right there. Here we go.
No peace. No peace. Police. No peace. Police. No peace. Police.
And now you can see the crowd as I get on the hill. You can look down and see blocks of marchers. Rainier Avenue Radio.world coming to you live from the Freedom March, walking up the hill in order to our right again, the Quincy Jones Performance Center there. Garfield. Celebrating the legacy of D. Charlene Williams on Juneteenth. So again, Juneteenth, the celebration, unlike a few that many had not heard of, this year catapulted into prominence for one reason. President Trump initially decided to have a rally on this day. That was changed. That made more folks aware of what Juneteenth was and what it meant. But it is the celebration of the freeing of the slaves.
Talk about history. That's crazy. Keep moving. Slow down just a little bit. Slow down.
This is the central nervous system. The central district. This is the brain and the heart of black folks in this area. And we're here today to re-establish that. Reaffirm that. This is our heart. This is our brain. This is our central district. This is our Africatown. Because if they can have whole states named after just one white man, one white slave owner like George Washington, or William Penn, Pennsylvania, or a mass murderer like Christopher Columbus, Columbia City, then why can't we have our community named after the birthplace of humanity, where all people came from? So that's why we say Africatown. That's where civilization started. That's where math and science and all of that started. That's where the human family started. So we just want to lift up and reconnect to our root. They got New England. They got New Hampshire. They got New Orleans. They got New York. So why don't we have Africatown? They got Chinatown everywhere. But they always want to call our neighborhood a ghetto, a hood, someplace not to go, someplace to escape from. But we're here to reclaim our greatness in our space. And our space is the central district. And we're here, still here, and gonna be here.
No slave mentality.
Everybody stand aware. All shade.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world live from the Freedom March. Garfield over there to my right. You see the blocks of folks lined up right here on 23rd Avenue. This is Juneteenth celebration, celebrating the legacy of D. Charlene Williams. It started at 22nd and Madison at the Central Area Chamber of Commerce, which she started. This would have been the third of her celebration of Juneteenth that normally takes place at Pratt Park. There won't be that celebration this year, but we are here celebrating her legacy. And while we're paused here, again, I got Mr. Petrie. Thank you at the start of this for inviting us and letting us cover this. Right, Keisha?
Hey, look at my man.
I know.
Look at all of us.
Awesome. Africatown, what a vision.
Yes, we the people.
What a vision. And Mr. Petrie, thank you for keeping this legacy alive.
Yes.
All right, we moving, y'all.
All right, here we go.
We're moving. We're moving.
That's some people down there. That's some people. That's serious.
Standing with us. Standing behind us.
Look at them, y'all.
Walks of life. We gotta make this thing right. The CD gonna get it right. We gonna show it, and then we gonna go everywhere we are. Connect with all our branches of our tree. You guys are really hard.
Wow. The Freedom March here, celebrating Juneteenth.
South Bend, that's our family too. Everybody in the South End mostly started in the CD. We reconnect to our roots. That's just a branch of our tree. Now we're in Rainier. We're in Skyway. We're in Federal Way. We're in Kent. They got us in Covington. They got us, somebody said, on the Pacific. I like that, huh? But hey, branches of our tree. And when we get it right here, we're going to get it right in those places too. We're not giving up our root. We're not giving up our legacy. We're not giving up on our grandparents and our great-grandparents and what they endured and went through. We're not giving that up. We're lifting it up. We're lifting it up. Lift up your family name. Lift up your family struggle. Lift up your family accomplishments. They thought they got us. They thought they got us with the crack. But we're coming back together now. We're getting back together now. They thought they had us cracked up. Hey, I see my coaches, City Panthers. I see my brother Deontay. He's a builder in this community. He's rebuilding. He's rebuilding. He's a developer. He's building. We got builders too. We got contractors. So we're going to get our community right. We're going to plan it. We're going to execute the plan. In honor of her. Her spirit. Empowering this event right now. Love you, G. So they can't kill us because we live on. And I know after this, they're going to be looking at me funny. And so do my other people funny. All of it. We all together. But they can't kill us. They couldn't kill my great-great-great-great-grandmother. Great-great-great-grandfather.
Is that Clinton? Yeah.
We're still here and we still live. That's right. We're going to keep riding. We're going to keep shining.
Especially I try to give them
room. We got Curtin Temple right here. Still holding it down. Still a black institution in our community.
Rainier Avenue Radio.world live at the Freedom March. This is in celebration of the 37th annual Juneteenth, or excuse me, in honor of the 37th annual Juneteenth celebration.
Building the kingdom of God right here in our community.
Can you not let me make sure I get my shot?
Showing the works right here on earth. Walk the walk. Not after we die, we want it right here, right now. We gotta have it right here, right now. We gotta build our heaven right here. And when we come together in unity, as beautiful black people, as beautiful people of all shades, that's the heaven right here on earth. And we gotta build it. We gotta build it. That's right. Don't miss it. It's all real. We have to make it real in our community. We're coming up on Yesler. We're coming up on CAYA. We're coming up on CAYA.
CAYA, Central Area Youth Association, Storage Youth Program.
Recognize the legacy. CAYA, Central Area Youth Association.
there's the Frederick Douglass Library, right here on 23rd and Union.
Frederick Douglass once said he prayed for freedom for many nights and many days, and nothing happened until he prayed with his legs. He said he prayed for freedom, but nothing happened until he prayed with his legs. That's why we're using our legs today to reclaim our streets in the spirit of our great ancestors. Frederick Douglass. Sojourner Truth, she gave birth to what people call feminism. Ain't I a woman? She said, ain't I a woman? And the answer is yes, black woman, you're a woman.
Right here at the corner of 23rd, Kessler.
Established by a black man to train people so they can have an income. But right now we see it's under services. Now we also know that the Catholic Church is the one that wrote the thing that allowed them to enslave us. So there's some repair rations due, definitely from the Catholic Church, and it needs to start with turning the land over back to our. Is that right? Yes. Pay the fee. Pay the fee. Pay the fee. Free the land. Free the land. Free the land. Free the land. Free our land. Free our land. So Randolph Carter Center got to come back into black ownership. Yeah. I heard a couple days ago, the mayor tweeted out that the fire station 6 is finally, after about 7 years of struggling and working, and 5 years of it being the council of Seattle to be a development fire station, which moved over to Martin Luther King, where ROPE, the Camp Central Area Motivation Program Rites of Passage experience, was that the new fire station, where our young people go through a rites of passage, so they don't have to go through rites of passage in the streets because there's nothing, not a positive one. Looking for manhood, looking to express their courage, looking to, express their agency and their sovereignty. It displaced that. And so we want to make it, and you heard the mayor
claim it,
that this is going to be the William Grove Center for Enterprise and Cultural Education. Now, a lot of people sent me messages, posted up tweets, and I just got to say, we don't have a title yet, and we don't have a specific timeline. So we still got to stay focused on making sure what was said to be happening actually happened. And our entrepreneurs building and growing their businesses, using their genius, their innovation, because innovation just means using your creativity. In America, we've been doing that. Never gave us nothing, so we always had to make something out of nothing. That's innovation at the highest. We always been entrepreneurs because they didn't want to pay us. So we had to find different ways to make moves, bust different moves, hit different licks. But the technology that allows us to actually develop our entrepreneurship, our enterprise, our generational wealth, and tap in with what's going on with this technology. Right? And so this is going to be our first epicenter for our Africatown district. So we don't want to just be a historic district where we're a thing of history. Making it happen right now. A Jimi Hendrix mural is good, but a studio where a young Jimi Hendrix can get in there and make his beats and play his instrument and make it play as much greater. We got young Quincy Jones. We got Lawrence in our community, and we got some young Lawrence Peaches. And some young need space to express their genius. We got some young Robert Redwine Grammy Award winning producers. Okay? But where's the space? Where can a young person go right now at this moment and touch a 3D printer and make something? To touch a virtual reality set, to develop their own game. Well, this is where it's going to. Our Seattle Vocational Institute, formerly SOIC, Seattle Opportunity Industrial Center, and not with the trick that they're trying to play right now. So that we can have a campus, right? So SVI, be our black, right in the Central District. Education institution to bring out our genius. We got Odessa Brown right down the street. They're going to make another site in the South End. They're saying, oh, well, the people's moving south. Well, Odessa Brown is my baby sister, Karima. It's her grandmother. And Odessa Brown was established healthcare, stability, and a doctor. And then Carolyn Downs Clinic, established by the Black Panthers.
That's right.
Because they weren't.
That's right.
Okay, and that's good. And we want to expand. We're not closing down. But we also not just to be a medical assistant and a dental assistant, because that don't even allow you to live in the CD now. But these health information technology, the biotech, the health devices, that's we need access to that, so Odessa Brown can be a place of access to innovation and creative genius for our community as well. Our campus, our community, a place of greatness, again, of creativity, of building, of growth. Right here in the center. That's what Africatown's about. Any young person you stop, say, I'm working on a film, I'm working on a fashion line, I'm working on an app, I'm working on my movie. They're working on something, they're expressing their genius. That's not just playing basketball, I'm trying to figure out what it's about. Why are we 80 or 90% of the ownership?
Come on.
So that's why we say equity now. Equity means ownership.
Yes. On every level.
On in every area we've been denied equity. Equity here for nothing less. Okay? So it's cool and cute when they take a knee, but what we really need is the bosses to pay the fee. Pay the fee! Pay the fee! Pay the fee! Pay the fee! All right.
Rainier Avenue Radio live at 23rd and Yesler. Again, there's the Frederick Douglass Library.
We want all the stuff.
Over here we have the fire station. Again, you heard there's the Yesler. Rainier Avenue Radio.world live. Again, this is a celebration and the Freedom March, a celebration in honor of D. Charlene Williams. This would have been the 37th year of the Juneteenth celebration held at Pratt Park. It was a festive event. There were rides and guest speakers, lots of different booths, a number of different things, of course, food. A joyous celebration place. on the actual June 19th. Again, that is the day that after 2.5 years, General Granger arrived in Galveston and officially freed the slaves 2 years before. Now, can you imagine on that day when you realize that you are suddenly free? The celebrations of just being free. And so one of the things, dressing up ever, not having had the opportunity to be able to put on the best clothes that you could find to make sure that everyone was fed and everyone gathered food.
Right here, they wanted to put East Precinct in the plan. We didn't see. See, police, violence, police terrorism that results in things like what we see with our brother George Floyd, Eric Garner, Alton Sterling, Charlene Lyles, so many more, Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland.
Anthony Thomas.
It goes hand in hand. Right? And so this was going to be East Precinct. But my father, Omari Tahir Garrett, Isaiah Edwards, a name you may not know, but you need to know, the late Isaiah Edwards. There was a fourplex right here. And they condemned it, said it had the blocks. How do you condemn a building for paper games and tricks that they play? So they said, no, we don't need a in our community that responds to crime. We need a positive institution, a negative mindset. There's already a victim and there's already a suspect. Losses are more in our community, right? Okay, so this was a African American Heritage Museum and Cultural Center. So they occupied the building and they fought for 3 years for it to be the African American Museum and Cultural Center. That eventually kind of ended up at Coleman, but we'll get to that history when we get down there. Coleman closed, it was Summit at that time, in 1980. It became a more ideal location to put a cultural institution. It's bigger, an education institution. So then they started working on it after they defeated East. That's why East Precinct is now on Capitol Hill. This is history that you need to know. But they don't even tell you this in the so-called history institution. But we're going to get to that, and we're going to get to order. Get it first. Me, you, and we. Then everything else is all in play. Because we set the standard for how other people relate to us. How I relate to me, how I relate to you, we're going to make sure they relate to us the same way. So when we relate to ourselves with the identity and all the greatness that we really represent and the resilience and all, then they got to respect and relate to us the same way.
That's right.
Okay? So, just given our history, and then eventually,
Rainier Avenue Radio again, just passing.
we got to get our stuff back.
Yes, sir.
Say all the stuff.
Live from the Freedom March, a celebration of Juneteenth honoring the legacy of D. Charlene Williams. This would have been the 37th celebration. This year, the event that takes place at Pratt Park is not taking place. You'd often find all varieties of types of food brought together by the community, a number of different booths where they sell their wares and sell their goods. Creativity coming from the stage in a number of different forms, whether it was music or spoken word, guest speakers.
Yeah, Jackson! What's happening, Jackson? What's happening? Jackson, what's happening? Proof in the in the plate. Proof in the plate. We see you. Black media. Yeah. Action Jackson. Ain't gonna be no peace if we don't get a piece. Hey, who's that over there? Who's that sitting on the side? Who's that? Who's that? All right. I'm going to tell you again. The man that lives the legend, the living legend. Right here. Action Jackson. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up. Straight up.
King Omari. King Omari.
All right. We're here. We're here. We're gonna stop. We on Jackson.
You already know what it is out here.
Gotta make it straight up on Jackson. Straight up. All right, so we're gonna let our brother give some of the history about Jackson. Hey, who's that right there? Another Jackson legend right there. I see you. Yeah, I see you. Ronnie, we see you. Calligraphy, Eric, we see you.
We see you, calligraphy.
We know Jackson's out here. Si, I see you.
What up, Si?
I see you. We gotta hold it down.
You see me, baby.
Hey. Wave them. I don't know. Hey, waves can happen. That's what I heard. But I'm going to let somebody else speak and tell us some history about Jackson, which is integral to our black history of Seattle.
Hey, so first of all, let's recognize the fact that Jackson is jazz on Jackson. This was everything. This was all that we fought for. Everything else is part of it. So those that don't know what Jackson is, jazz on Jackson. Jazz on Jackson. Look it up in your history. Everything about this place is all about one thing. It's about our music. It's about our culture. It's about our history. It's about bringing people from different places and playing jazz back in the day. Anybody know B.B. King?
Yeah!
Yes. Who else is out there?
Come on.
Tell me somebody else.
Madison. Money Waters.
I want them to say.
Robert Johnson.
Come on. What? Albert King. Come on, give me some more. There's some more names out there.
Billie Holiday.
Billie Holiday.
My favorite.
Hey, don't forget the Gary Hendrix, the jazz players of all places. Ray Charles has been here so many times that people didn't even know it. But guess what? This is the lifeblood. This is our jazz. This is our musicians.
That's right.
This is our artists.
Talk about it.
If you don't know that, then you need to go home. Because guess what?
Right.
Today is about history.
That's right.
It's about legacy.
That's right.
It's about, what do we say?
Ownership.
What do we want?
Equity.
What do we want?
Equity.
Yeah, do you see anything on Jackson that's feasible to that?
I mean, we can talk about it. We can talk
We
about it.
definitely have to talk about it.
We need to have a conversation with Howard Schultz.
We do. So, for those, again, those in the back that don't know, when you pass upon this, this is a legacy. Just as Union and Madison, Cherry, Yesler, all of these are part of our history. We weren't asked to live here, we were forced to live here. And we were forced to live here, we made something out of it. We made it our lives. And this is our lives.